This is Sarah Evans from the Scarlet and Black. On Monday, January 15th, 2024, registered Republican voters in Iowa gathered to caucus for candidates in the 2024 presidential primary. The Scarlet and Black visited caucuses in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Brooklyn to ask voters who they were caucusing for and why.
Haven't truly made up my mind, but I'm still leaning toward Donald Trump. A couple of the other candidates are impressive, but he's got a proven track record, and the others, you can promise, but if that's all that is.
Going with Nikki Haley, because I think she's got the smarts about everything that's going on, especially overseas and so forth. And she was our Secretary of State, so I trust her. I think she's going to be good.
I support Ron DeSantis tonight.
Is there any particular reason?
He has a record to run on, which I think is more so than other candidates. He's turned a swing state deep red. He has this won at almost everything he's done. He's the former military, so I think you can lead our country in that realm.
Vivek, yeah. Yeah, he's very sharp and he's very analytical, meaning that he's not just like all about ego, but he's more so acting in the fashion of just being professional and willing to even take advice from other people, such as Trump. I mean, there is no perfect candidate in the world. I think the best examples of being a good president is someone that's willing to listen, not just to others, but to the people, and to carry that message.
Nikki Haley, because in the end, we need to get in a reasonable president, and this is someone that I thoroughly believe can beat Joe Biden, and I don't know that any other candidate can.
Donald J. Trump. I believe that when I first heard that he was running for president back in what he said in 2015, the first thing that came to my mind was I'm voting for him.
Yeah.
And all the other politicians were like, oh, he ain't no president. He ain't gonna be no president. They all thought it was a joke. Myself, I said, why not? Why not? He's a businessman. Mm-hmm. This country needs a businessman, not a politician. Politicians, all they do is stuff their pockets with your money.
Good old Trump. He helped farmers, did a lot with the policies, and did a lot of turning around on the debt. I mean, now we're how much in debt worse? I mean, compared to when he was in there, it's uncalled for.
Binkley, because I'm a Christian, and he is speaking like a Christian, so I think we need more of God in our government.
So I'll be caucusing for Nikki Haley in the hopes that she secures the nomination and Trump runs as a third-party candidate.
I support Ron DeSantis. I think he is a fine man of experience and integrity, and he has good ideas. He hasn't been throwing mud, just standing quietly for the values that I think the Republican Party have stood for and that will benefit America. He says he's going to lead the American revival, and I think it would be great if he could do that.
I support Vivek Ramaswamy, and number one, I think he's outworked all the other candidates. He's canvassed the state, each county twice. I think he's got really good conservative principles and values. I like that he's younger. He's got a lot of energy, and I think we need somebody younger.
I was going to I was so busy running the whole. I was running the precinct. I forgot to vote. I would have voted for Nikki Haley.
Okay. Why Nikki Haley?
Couple reasons. Number one, I think she's very strong in foreign policy. Mm-hmm. I think she would do very well in the conflicts with Israel, Russia, and relations with China and other groups. I think she would also do a great job in building back the economy, erasing inflation, bringing America back to where it was under Trump, the economy, and so forth.
Donald Trump. And why? Because he's the man who can take care of this.
Donald Trump emerged from the caucuses victorious, with 51.1% of the vote statewide. Before the results came in, the race for second place between the next two favorites, Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, was hotly contested. However, DeSantis received more support than Haley statewide, taking 21.2% of the vote statewide, in contrast with Haley's 19.1%.
I came in here almost undecided. A week or two ago, I was really leaning towards Trump. I guess the short answer is I think Ron DeSantis will do everything Trump will do without the baggage. He's young, he's energetic, he's got a wonderful record in Florida. The things he's doing in Florida, I'd support in the state of Iowa or this country, and it's time for a change in terms of where we've been and where we're going, and I think DeSantis can take us in the right direction.
DeSantis is who I'll be supporting. I will vote for whoever the Republican candidate is. I just think DeSantis has a better chance overall than President Trump.
I supported Ron DeSantis tonight. My reason was the upside that he has over Donald Trump. He can serve 2 terms. Donald Trump can serve 1 term. I think DeSantis or Trump presidency would be bogged down with lawsuits, and he would find it hard to find good people to work in his administration with all of the toxicity. So I just think the upside for Ron DeSantis to get things done as he has in Florida is a lot greater.
Many DeSantis voters expressed to the SMB that he was a preferable alternative to Trump. Most notably, the caucus room for Grinnell Ward 4 featured some vigorous debate, with one DeSantis supporter causing a verbal disruption throughout the process.
It was interesting. We had one character in the middle of the ward who was a troublemaker, and at one point there were other people that wanted him out. I kept him in and just simply was able to withstand his negativism and his outbursts. But we had, other than that, everything went smoothly.
I supported Ron DeSantis. We did okay. It was probably my fault that we didn't do better. And, I was a little too aggressive going into it. Some of my neighbors took offense at that. And from what I heard from my other friends, Ron did pretty well. A broken clock is correct 2 times a day. So that was Donald Trump during his 4 years, but he failed.
Iowan voters weren't just concerned about the candidates themselves, but also about several national-level issues they wished to see addressed. The SNB spoke to voters about what their primary concerns were in our nation leading up to the 2024 general election.
Immigration's obviously close to the top with the humanitarian crisis at the border, as well as the harm it's doing to our country. Obviously the economy, it affects everyone in our country, so getting inflation under control, spending, all that good stuff. And then I'm a pro-life voter, so that matters to me deeply as well.
I think just abortion, the right to life is important, I believe. Standing for the Constitution, working, valuing work as a nation, as a people, the risks, the dangers of our open borders. And we are a nation of immigrants, but there are laws to obey and a lot of issues that we need good minds and everybody working together to solve.
For me, it's probably abortion, our southern border, and probably the main issue and reason that I'm voting for right now is just due to the fact that I think our country needs a strong leader and somebody that can support us on a global stage and project power to keep our economy going, etc., and somebody that can fill a cabinet to support him. And I believe a lot of the candidates can't get a cabinet like DeSantis can at this point.
I believe what made our country great was law, the constitutional republic, and the rule of law, where I don't think that seems to be the case anymore. There is no rule of law anymore. People get away with things that they shouldn't get away with or aren't prosecuted with crimes. And as a kid growing up, I trusted anything the leaders of our country said, and I trusted what doctors said, and now I trust none of what the government says and only what some of the doctors say. So I don't know where our country's headed, but not where I would like to see it go.
We have a real problem with the border. I think we have a definite problem with spending.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two main ones. We should be much more energy independent than we are.
Yeah.
And I just think that some of the current administration is really not qualified to be where they're at right now.
Protection of the unborn is a big thing. Protecting our southern border is another big thing. The economy, inflation is running rampant in the last 3 years, and we have to do something about that.
So democracy, the top of the list, and a return to more normal politics, reduced polarization.
The significance of the Iowa caucuses stems from their unique position as the first primaries in the United States. They have had an impact on the momentum of campaigns going forward, as evidenced by the decisions of Vivek Ramaswamy and Asa Hutchinson to drop out of the race less than a day later after finishing 4th and 6th in the state, respectively. Not only do the Iowa caucuses preview which candidate might emerge victorious as the Republican Party nominee, but they also illuminate which issues are on voters' minds. Further coverage of the caucuses can be found at thesnb.com. This was Sarah Evans from the Scarlet and Black.